It's not very often we get updates regarding all three of the major streaming operating systems at the same time, but we got new information on Fire TV devices, Android TV, and Google TV. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all positive, because it's not, but there is important information regarding all three systems. If you have them, you need to know. I make weekly videos helping people like you save money on streaming services and learning how to optimize their device. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the subscribe button right down below. I think we're gonna go from least important to most important near the end of the video. And I want to kick things off with Android TV devices. There's a number of popular devices that are modeled off of this operating system, including Mi Cool boxes. There's a ton of projectors and Android TV sticks. And then of course the NVIDIA Shield. It's now officially been announced that Android TV operating systems will no longer be updated every single year, but instead they're going to skip a generation and upgrade it the previous year after. There could be a number of reasons for this, potentially wanting to roll out more features at once. Plus, buyer's fatigue is a big thing. With Android TV systems, it's not often companies are going to create a new device for the new operating system every single year. For instance, I don't think I know one device that ran Android TV 13. Instead, everybody's just using 14. The Google TV Streamer and the ONN Pro box being the first two. I don't think this is the biggest deal at the end of the day. You're just going to have to wait a little longer for some major features to come out on the new operating system. With that being said, if you're getting an Android TV 14 device, at least you know you're going to get the most updates on that for at least the next 2 years. So next up, we got the Fire TV. Amazon is always dropping new features, little interface changes to make things easier, and they continue to do this, which has been a bit of a confusion for me. Counting most of you know by now, they are creating their own custom in-house operating system, Vega, which in turn would make most of these features useless going forward, other than to maybe copy and paste them in a way into their new Linux-based system. But they have made it even easier for you to find movies and TV shows. So this Fire TV update is really nothing major, but like always, they find an easier way to help you find content. So now any shows or movies that you look up or that you want to add to a watch list will also show you different networks you can watch them on, including free options. Because yes, if you own Prime Video, you can almost always watch the contents, or Netflix or whatever, but they're also showing you all the different free options that it's available on, such as Plex, Pluto, Tubi, Fossum, and Roku channels, giving you free options, even describing that there's ads involved, to watch the content as well. If you have the app installed, it's even going to give you the option to go directly to it, such as here where you can click on Watch for Free with Peacock app. I think that's a pretty useful feature. Again, another small update to your Fire TV. But this is the one that confused me the most, but with the explanation in the article, it also made the most sense. And that is the requirements to have Android TV and Google TV installed on devices has been lowered and raised. And by requirements, we are specifically talking about the RAM, because to run operating systems, there is a minimum amount required. For example, Android TV devices have actually always required at least 1.5 gigabytes, where previously Google TV devices always required 1.5 as well. This goes back to the cost of creating the device. The lower the RAM, the cheaper specs companies are able to include inside. So the biggest change here is that Android TV devices now will only require 1 gigabyte of RAM, where Google TV devices such as the Chromecast TV or Google Streamer now going to require 2 gigabytes. And let me explain why this is a good and a bad thing. For Android TV, this is a bad thing, and I'm going to tell you why. There is already a ton of extremely cheap spec'd Android TV devices, and now the market is going to be flooded with them. There is going to be so many 1 gigabyte, and mark my word, Android TV devices floating around everywhere. And that's fine if all you're going to do is stream, but a lot of these are going to be severely under-specced and probably work like shit. Now this is specific to the kind of device. For example, Android TV, if you're 1080p device, you need at least 1 gigabyte. But if you're a 4K device, you still will be required to have 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. Now this part might confuse you guys just a little bit. Chromecast TV HD only has 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. And as most of you know, it is being updated to Android TV 14 in the near future. We've talked about this. But how can it do that when it's 2 GB requirement now? And that's because Google has changed it to where only new devices that are seeking to launch Android TV 14 with certification will be required to have these specs. So essentially going forward, we won't see any Google TV devices with lower than 2 GB of RAM. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, like I always say, the best way to support me is hitting the subscribe button right down below. Thanks for watching, guys.